The question is that the order. The question is that the motion be agreed to. Raymond Ho.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I listened rather attentively to the contributions from the national MPs. It is fair for me to say that the best contribution is from my Asian colleague, Mr. Bakshi, who just commended the bill to the House without claiming the moral high ground in attacking Labour members. For many national MPs, where there is a problem, there is an excuse. For instance, the National Act government has failed to present any plans to grow our economy. For then, there is a financial crisis worldwide. And there is a 6 or so month gap between when the decision was made to not hold the census. For then, there is an urgency, because without the bill, the government statistician would be in breach of the Statistics Act. So that warranted the minister to run through the bill without referring to the select committee and the urgency. It is very satisfying, however, that in my speech I said that the national MPs had built up a very good habit of taking short calls and would take short calls during debate, and they took turns to take short calls. I can't be convinced that they had taken this bill that seriously, either in respect of its content or its process. The process is very important. It's about the core values of how Parliament operates. That's why I said to the members opposite that please exercise some forbearance from claiming the high moral ground in shutting down democratic process. It is disappointing that the minister, a very willing and able minister, did not answer some questions, some very important questions, particularly my colleague Charles Chauvel asked. Again, as my colleague Charles Chauvel said, this is our only opportunity for some important issues to be addressed, given the bill is being rammed through under urgency. I want to reiterate that I'm not litigating the actual decision, but was left wondering about the constitutional necessities. We agree that the policy objectives of this bill, but we cannot support the way the government is seeking to rush important constitutional changes through Parliament without giving the public a chance to have their say. Well, for that member, I say to you, in my speech at the first reading, I said that national MPs had built up a very strange habit of taking short calls, and you guys just took turns to take short calls. That give the public. That member, apologize to the speaker. It's not good enough to try to convince the public that the national MPs are very serious about this bill, either in respect of its content or in respect of the process. During the debate, some national MPs said they were shocked that Labour did not support this bill. There are some issues which are very shocking and could be addressed in a timely manner should the bill be referred to the Select Committee. For instance, Statistics New Zealand Statement of Intent 2011 stated that Statistics New Zealand has a high proportion of inexperienced staff, which poses a risk to the production of timely and accurate statistics. I'm sure the public wish to know as to how is Statistics New Zealand managing the risks posed by the high proportion of inexperienced staff, and what steps will be taken in 2011 and 2012 to recruit more staff with the necessary experience leading up to the 2013 census. The minister can't say, oops, that's operational matter, and his job is just to get the bill rammed through under urgency. That's not good enough and not fair to the statistics New Zealand and not fair to the general public. There are some important issues I wished they could be addressed properly. For instance, should we hold census every 5 years or every 10 years? Among OECD countries, there are at least 10 countries that hold census every 10 years. Or as argued by some experts, that whether we can collect data by way of a survey, for instance. While congratulating the minister on just ramming through the number 21st bill under urgency and this National Act government, I say to the minister, the general public of New Zealand just lost another good opportunity. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Call Nikki Kay.
Mr. Speaker, I'm very pleased to speak on the third